Unfortunately, I think today's a little bit too windy to weld. I don't even know if you can hear me. Hopefully you can hear me. But I went ahead and I'm gonna start making like cardboard cutouts for a piece I'm gonna weld in to box the frame back in. You can see this one, I got it pretty good. So just gotta cut that out of metal and it'll be good to weld in. This one, needs to be done. Need to do some stuff on that side, but I kind of want to wait to do this side until I get the transmission in there, because I don't really know how much room I'm going to have all around. So as you can see, kind of blew through on some of this crap metal here, so I'm going to try to fill that in at some point. But for now, I'm just trying to get some cardboard cutouts done so I can get this box back in, and as structurally sound as it's going to get, I'd say. So, in trying to fit up the piece, I dropped the plate into the frame rail. Now it's down here somewhere. So I'm trying to use this magnet to fish around this corner and hopefully pull it out, but I'm not too confident, so we'll see how this goes. All right, so I'm not necessarily proud of it, but I did have to cut the access hole here. So I'll just fold that back in and weld it back up. But this giant piece made its way all the way from right here, tumbled down here, tumbled into here, and eventually fell flat somewhere in here. And there's a hole there you can see, so I was able to move it around and work it vertically up here, but could not get anything to grab it. None of the magnets were strong enough, nothing was really doing it. So yeah, go ahead and stuff something in here so you don't lose your metal piece also if you're doing this for some dumb reason, because at this point, this thing is just a nightmare. But you can see right there, it's already about to fall. Woo, snagged it out of there. But yeah, that was, this has been like an hour and a half probably trying to get this thing out of here, so do not recommend. So it's not absolutely perfect, but it's pretty good. Should be able to fill that in over there. And then I'll just weld it to this panel, try to at least, and hammer this panel close to that one and weld it to the weld I got. But yeah, this piece was a nightmare just because it fell down there. All right, now I got the front side pretty well done. You can see all my blow throughs I did on this fish plate I did. I forgot that I did that and I didn't say anything about it. Yeah, I fish plated the outside because I didn't trust, I'm gonna have to get a mount or something welded right here, and I didn't trust this, as it's by itself. So I wanted some sort of metal back there, so if I have to, like, bolt through it, or ideally I'd weld to it, but we'll just have to see how it goes. But right now, that fish plate, is right here. And then I was putting this piece in there. You can see it fits very nicely. Actually pretty happy with that. So yeah, that's the front driver's side, and hopefully I'm going to try to get those cleaned up, and might have time to get them tacked in there and maybe weld it up a little bit. We'll just have to see. And again, we come to the fact, not the prettiest, but it is in there. The metal is joined. And I just had to tack it all the way around. I probably could have welded actually this plate to the square tubing. It's thick enough, but also filled in my blow throughs. And then now I gotta get this side put in. All right, so I'm pretty much done for the night. And just to recap, I got the boxed in pieces right here, right there. I actually forgot to hammer that in and weld it. It'll probably live, but I beat this down with the flat bar so I can, know that I'm pretty close to the iron whenever I drill into it. I'm gonna spot weld my mounts to the flat iron there, or the square tubing. I went ahead and stitched this up the remaining way, and stitch this side. Now, I'll say that I think I did pretty good tacking on right there, because yeah, just right there though, just that bottom half. because the rest of it is ass. And then I also welded the part that I had to cut out to get the boxed in piece out. So that's welded back up. So I'm just gonna grind some stuff and then I will put the primer over it and roll it back outside. I was wondering why the exhaust for this thing seems so big. I mean, this is, like maybe 2.5 inch or something. And this is like a little tiny engine. And usually little pea shooters. I'm like, why is this so big? And they got the pea shooters inside of this pipe. What? Why? So I decided I'm gonna try to roll the engine under it and see if it fits. I mean, there's no real way of telling without doing it, and then I don't wanna like box everything in and be completely done with it. I don't even know that it fits for sure, so. Well, I smashed my thumb pretty good just by hammering with a sledge. It's not that bad, but the exciting part is that there's a V6 hanging in my Civic. That's pretty sick. So, as you can see, not a whole lot of clearance up here, but there's a little bit. I was getting hung up on the AC compressor bracket. I mean, I don't need the bracket. Well, I need the bracket, but it's also part of the alternator bracket, unfortunately. And then the differential, I was getting hung up on a little bit back there. And I still need to come forward with it. It's still gonna come quite a bit, probably 2 to 3 inches forward. Like all the coils are gonna be underneath the core support. Because if you can see in here, I don't know, I haven't even looked in here, so I don't know what it's like. But the axle does look like it's coming right where it needs to. But it definitely will be whenever I get the engine moved forward just a little bit. Ground clearance, I mean, nothing to write home about, but it's there. We got it. But yeah, that's pretty sick. J32 in a 1983 Civic wagon. So I just spent forever cutting up this old subframe deal. And I'm gonna try to just set it in here and hopefully it'll hold up the engine, until I can come back to this when the engine mounts come in. Wow, there's still like a little bit that I should have cut. This is pretty decent, I'd say, for what I got going on. So the front 2 bolts are in. I just ripped out a good chunk of my hair. See if I can get the back one in. Not in. What size is this? There's a 15. It's not a 15. 17. So, I'm kind of at the point where I got the engine sitting in there, which is sick. You can see the subframe right there. That's actually what's holding the engine up, like the factory subframe out of this thing. I had to cut a bunch of metal out of it to make it to where it actually wrapped around the oil pan. And then another cool thing about what's going on is that you can probably barely see it through there, but like right over this harness, right behind that harness, and under this evap purge, is like the original subframe mount for the rear mount of the 83 Civic, and it's sitting perfectly. Like it's wrapping around the half shaft exactly where I want it to be. It couldn't be any better right there. So what I'm gonna do is just build off of that to have my rear mount. I'm gonna have the transmission mount, the driver mount, and the rear mount, just kind of like an EG setup. I'm using EG mounts because I figured one day, if I've gotten this far with it, I think I want to actually swap an EG front end into it. Because then I have suspension I can actually buy. I can do kind of cool stuff with it versus, whatever I have nothing to work with now. What I think has actually happened is, I told you about the VTech Society video, I think I did, where they got about as far as I am right now, where they got it in the car and they got everything chopped up and everything. And I think they probably got started welding like I did, and they realized how fucking shitty this metal is. Like this thing is made out of just a bunch of crushed up cans just slapped together, because it's so bad. I mean, that's why it weighs 1,900 pounds, because there's just nothing to it. And I think they decided it's just more effort than it's worth, because I'm having to add so much structure. I'm having to do a lot versus like what I think they typically like to do, which is just throw an engine in, mock up some mount and send it. Like, I don't think they really want to do all the stuff I'm doing, because it's not really worth their time. They got plenty of other stuff they could be throwing a V6 like in a CRX or something. They don't want to bother with all the stuff you have to do to put one in one of these. So I think that's probably what happened there, but you know, I'm just speculating. I don't really know. So, you know, I may even get further than this and decide this thing is just I may just scrap it. I mean, we'll see. I probably won't. I'll do whatever I gotta do to get this thing going. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much where I'm at. I'm super excited, and you know, I'm happy to be where I'm at with it. I'm gonna lower it and roll it down, and I guess whenever I lower it, I can check ground clearance, which would be kind of cool. So I guess I'm gonna do that real quick. So with it as it sits, we're currently, I mean, we're close to 7, but I'd just say 6 inches of ground clearance. But with this thing, I'm probably gonna, I don't know, because that's kind of where the exhaust is supposed to go, but I was gonna offset down into there. I don't know, I'll have to figure it out, but yeah, we're in there. We are in there. Oh my God. It's crazy seeing it like way down, because I've been seeing it, you know, for the past couple months, like way up, because there's no weight in the front, and now there's a whole V6 in the front, which is, you're gonna nosedive a little bit, which, you know, I don't really care, but that's just crazy looking. Absolutely crazy. So if you like this video, let me know by leaving a like, and if you have any comments on what's going on with that thing, you know, leave them. Let me know what you guys think, and subscribe for me to keep doing this stuff. And thanks for watching. See you guys later.